Aurel Eau de Parfum. Descubre la elegancia seductora de la noche. Encuentra tu esencia más auténtica y refinada.
All three of these video ads started with just one single product image. One is a TikTok ad, one is a YouTube commercial, and one is localized for a Spanish-speaking audience. The surprising part? I didn't rebuild the project 3 different times. Everything was created inside Flova and native video creation agent using Seedance 2.5, from the original project brief all the way to the final deliverable. In this video, I'll show you the complete workflow step by step. Instead of starting with AI generation, the first thing I do is set up the project document. I start by creating a new project and adding the product information Flova needs to understand the campaign. Here, I add the product details, key selling points, target audience, brand direction, campaign goal, platform requirements, and call to action. For this example, I'm creating a premium ad for a luxury perfume brand with a clean, modern, and cinematic brand direction. I also define where the ads will be used and what I want each version to achieve. Once all of this information is added, Flova has the project context it needs before we start generating any video. Instead of jumping straight into video generation, I ask the agent to organize everything into a complete production brief. It analyzes the product, understands the target audience, and creates a structured foundation for the entire project. Before moving forward, I quickly review the project document, make one small adjustment to the brand guidelines, and save it. Now, every step that follows continues using the same product context instead of starting over with a brand new prompt. Next, I ask Flova to generate a storyboard. Instead of random AI scenes, every shot now has a clear purpose. Inside Canvas mode, I can see my product assets, storyboard, references, and generated content all connected inside one workspace. This makes the project much easier to review because every image, video, and reference stays attached to the correct scene. Rather than searching through folders, everything is organized visually. Before generating anything, I open one key scene. I review the prompt, camera direction, product presentation, and creative style. If I want the product to appear larger, the lighting to feel more premium, or the camera movement to become more cinematic, I can make those adjustments before spending any credits. Taking a few seconds to review the prompt usually produces much better results than generating first and fixing problems later. Now it's time to generate the first commercial using Seedance 2.5. One advantage of the new model is its ability to generate longer, more complete video sequences. Instead of stitching together several tiny clips, Seedance 2.5 can generate a much more complete advertising sequence with smoother storytelling, better pacing, and more natural camera movement. That gives me more control over things like the product, branding, talent, setting, camera movement, and overall creative direction. Looking at the finished result, the product remains recognizable while the overall commercial feels polished and cinematic. The real advantage appears when I need different versions. Instead of rebuilding the project, I simply duplicate it and change the objective. The first version is designed for YouTube. The second version becomes a vertical TikTok advertisement. The third version is localized for a Spanish-speaking audience. The language changes, the pacing changes, the call to action changes, and even the aspect ratio changes. But because everything continues from the same project, the product, branding, and visual identity remain consistent across every version. Let's say the commercial is almost finished, but one small detail still needs attention. For example, I like the entire shot, but I want to change the camera movement. Instead of rebuilding the entire advertisement, I simply select this clip and update the prompt with the change I want. I'll type, change the camera movement to a slow cinematic push-in toward the product. That's it. Now I can generate the revised version and compare it with the original. Here you can see the difference. The original shot stays the same, while the revised version uses the new camera movement I requested. So instead of recreating the whole commercial, I can make a targeted change and keep the rest of the creative direction intact. The revision focuses specifically on the issue I wanted to fix, while preserving the approved creative direction and other working elements where possible. And this is where the workflow really saves time, because I can quickly test different hooks, openings, and creative variations for different products without rebuilding the entire ad from scratch. So instead of regenerating the entire commercial, I can focus the revision on the specific shot that needs attention. This makes revisions much faster and much more practical for real client work. And once I've generated the shots and I'm happy with the results, the next step is to save these shots and creative elements into the asset library. I can keep approved product visuals, characters, settings, and other creative elements organized here for future projects. So the next time I need them, them, I can simply find them in the asset library and reuse them instead of creating everything from scratch. Once everything is ready, I can assemble all the clips directly into the timeline and make the final adjustments here, like arranging the clips, adjusting the volume, and making sure everything flows the way I want. And when everything looks good, I can simply export the final video from here. But there's another really useful feature here. I can simply tell the agent what I want it to do, instead of manually arranging everything myself. For example, I can say, add all the YouTube ad shots to the timeline and add music that matches the video. And instead of going through every clip one by one, the agent can automatically assemble the selected shots and music into the timeline for me. It can organize the clips in the right sequence and build the timeline based on what I asked for. This makes the final editing process much faster, especially when I already have all the shots generated and just need to bring everything together. I can then review the timeline, adjust the clip positions, change the volume, trim anything that needs a little adjustment, and make sure the final result flows exactly the way I want. And once everything looks good, I can export the finished video directly from here. And it's not just the final video. I can also export the project files and other assets, so I have everything I need to continue editing, make future changes, or move the project into another workflow. Once I'm happy with the workflow, I go to the Documents section, rename this, and save it as a Flova skill. This doesn't just save one prompt. It saves the entire production method, including the project structure, storyboard, prompt style, reference setup, and creative workflow. Now let's see what happens when the same brand wants to launch another product. This time, it's a skincare serum. Instead of starting everything from scratch, I simply start a new project, add the same skill, and choose the model I want to use. Then I upload the product image for the new serum and hit generate. Flova takes the skill we already created and applies that same production workflow to the new product. The product has changed, but the workflow, creative structure, and production method are already there. So I can go from one product launch to another without rebuilding the entire process every time. And that's where Flova becomes more than just an AI video generator. It gives you a repeatable workflow that you can reuse across different products and campaigns. It's from organizing the project brief and storyboard to managing references, creating multiple versions, reviewing prompts, and saving reusable workflows. Everything stays connected inside one workspace. That makes the entire creative process much easier to manage, especially when you're producing videos for different platforms, audiences, and markets. If you're a creator looking to make AI commercials, AI storytelling videos, or viral content, you can also use Flova to bring the entire creative workflow into one workspace. Flova plans start from $20 per month, with Seedance 2.5 available inside Flova, so you can get started with the same workflow without needing a separate platform. And right now, there's actually a limited time offer running on Flova. You can get up to 100% bonus credits. And Seedance 2.5 is available from just $0.025 per second. So if you've been wanting to test Seedance 2.5 without spending a lot on every generation, this is a pretty good time to try it. I'll leave the Flova link in the description and pinned comment so you can check the current offer and pricing for yourself. And if you sign up through my link, you can get up to 100 free credits plus 200 additional credits for every friend you refer. And if you try it, let me know what you create with Seedance 2.5.